Hey, welcome to another episode of Prison Bosses. I would like to first start off by giving a special thanks to our sponsors, Industrial Bank. Industrial Bank being based out of DC, but one of the only two banks in the country that you can bank with while incarcerated. So, big thanks to our partners at Industrial Bank. Today, we have a very, very special conversation. This is a special edition in which, we've only had two episodes when we don't have someone who's been previously incarcerated, but the individuals that are on the other side of the frame are very much into helping change lives. I actually had the pleasure of meeting Tanya in person when I was in Missouri, and Tanya Heath actually used to teach at the Missouri University, also has some close ties to Albany, New York, where we're stationed. And so it was a natural kind of connection there. And recently she got me connected with her friend and partner, Dr. T, Loda Timberlake to be exact. And today we're going to talk a little bit about Juices Plus. And I think this is going to be an episode that you guys will find very important because, as you know, I'm very big on holistic, taking care of ourselves from in a holistic approach. And in our conversations and the information that I've received and read through about Juices Plus, this is what it's all about. And so sit back, enjoy. I think you're going to really enjoy today's episode. And with that being said, let me kick it off by starting and saying hi to you both. And do you mind? Maybe we'll start with, well, I'll let you guys decide, but give a little backstory to yourselves and then we'll go from there.
Thank you, Trent. It is such a privilege and honor to be here with you today because I get to talk about something that's so dear to my heart. My passion, it's health and wellness. I am Dr. Timberlake. I'm a chiropractor. I worked as a chiropractor for 35 years. I'm now retired, but I continue to talk and speak and teach about health and wellness because health is wealth. Our
That's right.
health, if we don't have our health, we don't have much of anything. And
Yeah,
staying healthy is being wealthy because that gives you choices.
I agree. I
And
agree.
health is actually a choice as well.
Mm,
So
mm,
I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. You might pick up that I have a little bit of an accent. I was born in Stockholm, Sweden, and I am privileged, but it didn't start out that way. My parents are they barely have a ninth grade education, but they did instill in me a work ethic and also an opportunity to dream.
mm.
And they let me come over here as an exchange student to United States. I came from Stockholm, Sweden to Fayetteville, Arkansas. Where is that? And I didn't, back in the 70s when I came, I didn't even know. I had to look it up on an atlas. It's like, where is, and we call it Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Arkansas.
But with that, I was so fortunate, and it kind of started me on a journey. I did do a year of an exchange student program in high school,
Mhm.
and it opened up my eyes and ears to other people and
Mm,
how people live,
mm,
and I ended up actually coming back and going to the University of Arkansas and got an undergraduate degree. And that's where I've always been passionate about health and wellness. And I wanted to go into healthcare as opposed to sick care. I wanted to
mm,
help people stay
mm,
healthy. There is a
mm,
difference.
mm. I love
And
that.
so I ended up, after my University of Arkansas degree, ended up in chiropractic school in St. Louis. And and that's where I met my now husband. He kept me here. And so this was back in the 80s, so 3 kids later, and 30 years in chiropractic clinic. It's been an amazing journey. And but with that, so health and wellness has actually been my passion all along, and I am so privileged to be able to help people with that. So, like I said, I think health is a choice,
It is.
and I say that because 75% of our illnesses, chronic illnesses, are preventable if we
Mm,
make some better choices.
mm,
The interesting thing is that the government knows that they're giving us all this information, they're doing all this research, but still, we're still really sick as a
mm.
country, as a
Agree.
people.
Yep.
And it's really, and I don't like to be negative Nancy here, but just some statistics. Like, for example, like 1 in 3, like I said, like 75% of us have some kind of chronic disease that could be preventable. 75%, that's a lot of people.
75%. That's crazy.
I know, right?
It is.
And 1 in 3 of us are going to develop some kind of cancer. And that is actually, some of it is preventable, not all, but some of it is. 1 in 3 are going to become diabetic. And diabetic is if you have,
Mm,
your blood sugar is too high. Now, there is a diabetic disease that actually you're born with because it is genetic, but
right.
1 in 3
Right.
of us are going to develop it because of how we live, and mostly because what we eat.
That's
And
crazy.
it
That's
is
crazy.
crazy. And it doesn't have to be like that. 1 in 3 of us are overweight and obese,
Mm-hmm.
and that
Mm-hmm.
goes all the way down to our kids.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yep. Yep.
so you see these statistics, and it's like, okay, this is not right. And this is, we're living in one of the wealthiest countries in the world, right?
Right. Right.
And but yet in the Western world, United States have more sick people than any of the other Western countries. So, okay, so what do we do about that? I feel like, it's really not rocket science,
I'm with you.
but
I'm with you.
no, but so there are 4 pillars of health, and those are
Mhm.
the 4 pillars that kind of balances out and kind of gives us a foundation to health. Number one, I think, is what we eat, what we put
Mm,
into our
mm,
bile
mm.
every day.
What did we say?
The
Growing up, they say you are what you eat, right?
You are what you eat.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
And also how we move. I mean, the majority of us, we sit on our butt all day long,
Yep.
and anymore
Yep.
these days, the younger generation sit on their butt on their screen.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Or playing video games. They're not outside riding the bikes, playing in the
I
parks, the
know.
things we grew up doing.
I know, right? And you can even look on our phone. Our phone gives us a feedback every day. It's like, how many hours did you spend on your phone today? And I thought, a lot of it is out of convenience. I know that. I mean, we live in a convenient world, but with that, our health is suffering because of it. So it's kind of a mindset how we decide to use the things that we know. And I think for us adults, it's not, like I said, rocket science, but we need to kind of stick with some good healthy habits,
I agree.
and what we eat, how we move, how we manage our stress.
Mm,
And because stress is up there with our kids, stress is up there with ourselves, and where we end up in life. The stress is there, so we need to figure out how to manage that, and also practice prevention. And prevention, I think, comes with education. And again,
mm,
it's not hard. So we have
mm,
those 4 pillars. We have what we eat, how we move, how we manage our
mm.
stress, and
How
how
we
we
move.
practice prevention. um,
And you
yeah,
know what else? I hope that the listeners caught up on. One thing I definitely want to make sure, because you said a lot of powerful stuff already. But some of those statistics, just to read that back, like, so this could really set in. 1 in 3 means 33%. So 33% of Americans are going to end up with cancer. Some of that could be preventable. 33% of us are overweight. That's preventable. 33% of us are going to develop diabetes, all preventable things. And so when you say health is a choice, that's why I can't agree more, because it comes down to, like you said, what are we eating? Are we eating our vegetables? Are we eating healthy portions? Are we eating snacks late night? Are we drinking enough water so that we don't have to feel like we're hungry all of the time? Also, are we limiting our sugars? Moving our bodies, exercising. Everyone who knows me knows I'm very much talk about exercising, the importance of moving our bodies, getting those steps in. Even if you're not physically going to a gym, just by taking the steps, moving, having 6 to 8,000 steps a day could literally change your whole life. Stress management, key. I mean, stress kills. That's really what it comes down to. Stress kills. And then prevention. And so, and especially in this, I gotta say this, I'd be remiss if I didn't, but especially since a big portion of our listeners tend to be African American males, we're one of the populations who really don't do enough with prevention. Because historically there's been a disconnect with the hospitals and the doctor system. And so we tend not to trust them as much. And then next thing you know, we have a cancer that now could have been prevented if we practice prevention in the past. And so I just, like you said, education, know what sort of things that your culture is accustomed to maybe receiving, how your body types might operate, and then through that education, practice those 4 pillars. Sorry, Dr. T, but I had to make sure that they heard those things.
No, I love it. And it's just kind of we're saying the same thing just in a different way. And I think that is the information that I want to get out there to people, because you can't, education is power. And when you know what to do, and I kind of told, I've always had this saying, if I know what to do and I don't do it, as far as our health and
That's on me.
wellness, you get sick, you kind of had it coming. But if I
Yep,
know what to do and I do it and I still get sick, okay, that just sucks.
I'm
And
with you.
I
Yeah,
couldn't
yeah.
help that.
Right,
But you do
right.
you do have a choice. I mean, things happen, and there's all kinds of things that can happen in our lives and in our health, that we don't have control over, but there is also things that we do have control over. And let's do those and educate our children to do those. I tell my kids when
Mm,
they were growing
mm,
up, it's like, you
mm.
don't have to like broccoli. You just have to eat it. It's like,
Yeah,
I'm not going to
so
make you
true.
like it. I know,
Yeah.
but eat it anyway. Do it anyway. You don't
In
have to
life, there's
like
a
it.
lot of things you don't like doing that we're gonna have to do. I don't like paying bills, but the bills have to get paid, and
I
so
know,
I'm with
right?
you.
I don't have, you don't, yeah, you don't like to go to school. I don't like to go to work all the
That's right.
time. I
That's
just
right.
got to do it.
That's right.
Just get.
That's right.
So there is a little bit like that, but you also, I think another thing that is interesting, though, that I think do need to talk about is why we're getting so sick, and part of it is actually the food industry.
Mm,
We do have a choice, but some people don't have the same choice. There are in inner cities and in a certain places, there are what we call food deserts.
yes, indeed.
All they
Yes,
have is
indeed.
like a corner 7-Eleven, and all they have in there are
Yep.
Twinkies. So it's like, yeah,
Yep.
or bags
Yep.
of chips. So there is that, which is the problem, and a lot of things. But even at that, you go in and you look and see. Try to eat the food that's the less processed. Try to
Mm,
eat the whole food, the food that's as close to the natural where it came from. And is in The other thing is that these days, people don't cook. We don't cook anymore
right.
like grandma used to do.
Yep.
And the food that we buy in the stores, even the healthy food, comes from halfway across the world,
So true.
or or it was grown somewhere where there's no nutrients in the soil anymore. So there is a lot of things that has happened to our food, and being aware of that. Again, eating as close to where the food comes from as you can, or try to pick the food as the least processed.
This
And I say
process.
it
I
because
like
the
it.
least processed food is much higher in nutrients. And nutrients is what we need. It's not only calories that we need, although we can survive on calories, but we
Hmm.
cannot maintain health on calories.
We need the
We
nutrients.
we need the nutrients.
When you say what does nutrients mean? Like, if
So nutrients is not just vitamins, and I'm going to get to that a little bit. But
okay, all right.
the foundation of nutrients comes from plants, comes from fruits and vegetables and their plant food. Now we do need protein as well, but you can actually also get protein from plants. But protein comes, from meat, and so we basically need meat, of protein, and plants. Those are the basic foundations. That's where our basic foundation of nutrients should come from.
So,
And
Dr. T,
actually,
real
huh?
quick, I gotta ask you this. So for a lot of our listeners are incarcerated. And in
Uh-huh.
the incarcerating setting, they have limited options. A lot of the products are probably going to be soy based, not so more processed than anything.
Hmm.
How do we help someone like that in that circumstance eat better? Or what sort of suggestions do we have for someone in that going living in that atmosphere?
You're living in that atmosphere. I'm sure that because the government actually has some guidelines as to what they have to feed them or
Hmm.
what has to be in the food. And it's interesting because those guidelines have changed a little bit. I don't know if you're familiar with the old food pyramid
The
back in the day.
pyramid, yeah, growing up,
Right,
yep,
right,
yep,
right.
yep, 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 yep.
Well, that has actually the new health minister Kennedy, he has flipped that food
Mm,
pyramid upside down. And I
mm.
would recommend for you people that are listening that go and look this up a little bit and look at the food pyramid how it used to be and look at the food pyramid and the recommendations that are there today. And the recommendations still are your main intake of food should be plants, fruits and vegetables and berries,
Mm, mm, mm.
because that's where your nutrients come from. And it's really interesting as I was looking this up because I have this Bible verse in the back of my head that and even back in the Old Testament. I mean, we're talking like I don't know, minute
Mhm,
how thousands of
mhm,
years ago in the book of Daniel. It says this Daniel 1. After 10 days of eating only vegetables and water, Daniel and his friends were healthier and better nourished than the youth that was eating the king's food.
mm,
This is like
mm.
I don't know how many thousands of years ago. So this is not new.
Right,
If we
right.
the majority of our food comes from fruits and vegetables and plants, and drink your water, just like you said. It's not rocket science. God has been telling us this. He's been
Forever, literally forever. Right,
forever. He
right, right.
plants this food. He gave us the earth. He gave us the plants. It's like, this is what you need to eat. He told
That's
us
right.
this.
That's
And
right.
I think that, that's just kind of knowing that, okay, this is not, we just didn't make this up.
Right,
It came
right,
from,
right.
it
This is
came from the
actual.
Lord. It is
Right, right,
natural.
right, right.
But so with that, so the nutrients that I'm talking about are actually micronutrients. So you can take a vitamin, like a vitamin pill, for example.
Hmm.
A vitamin. So I think that the biochemists have been able to isolate, I think 15 maybe isolated vitamin compounds that they have come up with in a factory or isolated. But an apple, for example, has thousands of different micronutrients,
Mm.
or they're called
One apple.
phytonutrients, like PHYTO nutrients. And
Gotcha.
we haven't even isolated all those. We don't know what they are.
Mm.
So with that, even though a multivitamin seems to be maybe the solution, but it's really not, because you don't get all the nutrients that you need.
That's right.
There are specific vitamins that we do need and for
Hmm.
specific conditions.
Hmm.
My age, I need to take some extra calcium because I'm an older woman, and bone
Right,
density and all that kind of
right.
stuff. And I need maybe some vitamin D
Hmm.
because I don't get out in the sun as much.
It's
Or
not
people
enough.
that
Yep.
maybe are incarcerated need to take some extra vitamin D
Definitely,
for things
definitely,
to work right.
definitely.
But with that being said, we do need the nutrients. We do need the micronutrients, the phytonutrients from whole food, and and the phytonutrients are like I said, there are thousands of them coming in.
Thousands.
Yeah, the
That's
thousands that we
crazy.
don't even know what they are.
So I guess the
So
saying rings true. An apple a day really does keep the doctor away.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And that's what's. And so I ran across some 12 years ago, somebody introduced me to a product called Juice Plus. And Juice Plus is the fruits and the vegetables. It's a powder concentrate that
Hmm.
comes from whole food. They have harvested the fruits and the vegetables and the berries, and they actually harvest it at the peak of ripeness. And
Mm.
that's when it is the most dense in all these nutrients. Remember I
Gotcha.
told you like some of the food that we buy in the store was like, I don't know, you look at some, I came from Chile or Brazil, and it's like, how
Yep.
long did it take for it to
To
get here,
get
right?
here, right, right.
And so it loses a lot of the nutrients along the way. Or it was picked, like you see the green bananas in the store.
Yep.
They weren't
Yep.
ripe when they were picked. They were major green, and they were supposed to ripen in transit. And
Mm,
so it loses its
mm,
nutrients. But
mm.
The Juice Plus product, the Juice Plus produce is grown by growers here in the United States. They have their own growers. The produce is harvested at the peak of ripeness. It's harvested, cleaned, and it's shock frozen at the growers, and then it is taken into the factory. It's not really even juiced. It's kind of compressed.
Mm-hmm.
So it is pressed in that everything, the apples, the oranges, it is all peel and all is getting
Mm.
compressed because there's a lot of
Gotcha.
nutrients in the
Yep.
peel. There's a lot
Yep.
of nutrients in the seeds.
Yep.
And like, for example, an orange has most of the vitamin C is actually in the peel. But you and I, we
Mm.
don't eat
And
the
we don't
peel of
even
the
eat the
orange,
pill.
right?
Yeah, we don't
Right,
even eat
right.
the pill. Right.
So it is juiced, made into a juice, and then dried at a low temperature, and dried and made into a powder and
Mm.
put into a capsule. So it is really unique in that all those micronutrients and all the phytonutrients I talked about are still in there. And we know that because they have done research at major universities all around the world for probably the last 25, 30 years now, that's shown that the nutrients are still in the product. Because when people take it over time, the studies have shown that it improves your cardiovascular health, it improves your immune health, it improves your eyes, it improves your all the health markers that we typically test have been shown to be improved when people take Juice Plus regularly. So yeah, so the interesting thing about it is it's kind of like when I was in practice, that was the number one nutritional supplement I recommended to my patients. Like, we all need to eat fruits and vegetables. So Trent, so let me ask you, we need to eat, they say, between 7 to 13 servings a day.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to eat that much because the nutrients in the produce is really not there for the reasons we talked about. It comes from far,
Right.
far away. It has been depleted. And so we did between 7 to 13 servings. So Trent, how many servings of fruits and or vegetables did you eat yesterday? Because today is early. You can still
Uh,
redeem yourself.
so so this is just me being totally on. Every morning I have yogurt with blueberries in it. So that's typically, so blueberries become my first. For a snack, usually like yesterday I had apples with peanut butter throughout the day. I eat salads almost every single day for my lunch. And so my salads are usually, lettuce, tomatoes, all of the fixings. I try to not even put too much like sauce dressing on it.
Dressing.
Try to keep it as natural as possible. Um Fridays are pizza night. So we had pizza. So we didn't have any other vegetables with that. So that's probably my yesterday intake right there.
Yeah.
What you're holding up. So nowhere
So
near the
about
13.
four or
Right.
five. And a serving is about the size of our fist. That's what we call serving because there is so much bulk in fruits and vegetables.
Gotcha.
So with that, even though you being mindful about what you eat and trying to, it is really hard to get up to the 7 to 13
Definitely.
servings. Like, how do we
Definitely.
do that? You have to back up a truckload of, and
Right.
you go to the store or yeah, or like for people like that are listening to is the food that they eat, they might not have access to all those fruits and
So true.
vegetables, or
So
maybe
true.
the green beans that are there have been cooked to death and it's like they're floating
Hmm.
around. And yeah,
Soggy old green
I
beans.
know, right. So, and I was, as I was preparing for this, I was even thinking I probably had probably like you, 5 or 6 servings of and I, like I said, and I'm mindful about it.
Right.
So
Right.
with that, so the Juice Plus product gives you, if you take the fruits and vegetables and the berries, you get over 30 different kinds of fruits and vegetables and
Mm.
berries
Mm.
in about 10 servings in the concentrate, because the water and the most of the water and the fiber have been removed, so it's really
Hmm.
just the powder left. And but the concentrate that's in there actually still has all the nutrients as if you're eating all those fruits and vegetables.
Mm.
So the convenience of it and
Hmm.
the simplicity of it, it bridges that gap between
Definitely.
what we should eat and what we actually do get to eat, and what we even try as we might to eat
I love
this.
that. I
uh,
love that.
and and so for me as a healthcare provider, having tried to educate people, it is just, it's like a no-brainer. Okay, I should be eating this to stay healthy.
Hmm.
There's no way I can do it, try as
Hmm.
I might. This is having been proven to have the nutrients in it. This is the best thing since sliced bread, if you ask me. I
With
mean,
you. I
it's
agree. I mean,
yeah,
just
yeah.
even thinking about the convenience of it, and like you said, to hear you say how it improves our immune systems,
Right.
even our eyesight, our cardiovascular, all of the milestones that they're looking for us to be consistent on. And when you mix that with being so like hearing that 7 to 13 and seeing how far off, and yes, if maybe if I had a different dinner, I would have had additional at least one other serving of a vegetable, but even still I'm off the mark. And so and I try to eat healthy. I eat no meat at all. I'm a pescatarian, so we
Mhm.
only eat fish at best. And so I'm really really mindful, and I know that average American isn't as mindful. And so I just know how difficult it is. I think one other thing I want to point out though, there used to be a time where eating healthy seemed like it was so much more expensive. But with the price of everything being what it is, I think now better than ever, we're in a more competitive landscape where, yeah, you could go get a salad for $10, but if you want to go to McDonald's, that extra value meal is going to cost you $10 to $12 anyway. So you might as well take the healthy option, in my opinion.
Right, right. No, and I think also, the interesting thing is when you start, it has been shown that if you start eating healthy and getting more fruits and vegetables into your diet, you actually start to crave more fruits and vegetables in your,
I
I
can
mean,
see that.
it's like,
I can see that.
yeah,
I
because
can
some
see that.
people are like, oh, I don't like it. Well, it's like I told you, it's like, well, eat it anyway, because after you've been eating it for a while, you're going to start to crave it. Your body's
I
going to
agree.
want that. Your body
I
wants,
agree.
God has given us this amazing machine
Yes.
that in
Yes.
spite of what we do to it, we, we will
Yes.
survive. It's just surviving machine with everything that we do and not do to it. And
Well, I think that also goes back to you saying like being healthy is a choice.
Mhm.
Because if we're being mindful of it, and like you said, I've learned I don't really eat for taste at this point. I eat because it's what my body needs. And
Right,
sometimes
right.
it differs. Like I'm in the
Mhm.
gym a lot too. So I want to bulk at certain times. Other times I want to slim down. And so even based upon what I'm looking to do with my body, I eat a certain way. And so I'm years away now from eating because I want something that tastes good.
Right.
Oftentimes I'm just eating just because I have to eat it. And I find in doing so I eat less. I don't necessarily need 3 meals a day. I don't even know if we were created to eat 3 meals a day, to be
I
quite
don't think
honest.
so.
And so like you saying, just being mindful of these things, educating ourselves to the realities of these situations. And for
Mhm.
me, I tell people all of the time, a lot of people take better care of their car than they do their own body. They go get the oil change
Absolutely.
religiously, they change the
Absolutely.
tires with the
Right.
seasons, yet they
Right.
continue
Right.
to put things in their body that won't help you to sustain long term. And so I really, really appreciate you coming and sharing this Juices Plus, because I think it's a great alternative, and I'm hopeful that our
Mhm.
listeners definitely check it out.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting that you said that about the car, because I usually talk about the compare a car to our bodies,
Hmm.
and the fruits and the nutrients from the fruits and the vegetables and berries is kind of like the oil that you put into your car,
Uh,
though, because it's micronutrients. They're the ones that keeps your engine going, that keeps your body going. So there's another thing called the macronutrients, like the protein and the carbs. That is the fuel that you put in the gas tank, right? But you have to give your body the nutrients from fruits and vegetables and berries to keep the machine going. And
yes.
that is the foundation. And the other thing that you said, and I think is also really important to keep in mind, we eat too much. We don't need to eat as much as we do.
Mm-hmm.
And then you
Mm-hmm.
go out, you go to McDonald's, you go to the restaurant, and even it's like the plates
Big
are just
portion. Yep.
portions are
Yep.
so big. It's
Yep.
like, okay, I got to eat all this. No, you don't. You need to eat half of that or a
That's
third of
right.
that. That's
That's
all your
right.
body needs.
That's
And
right.
that's also kind of what contributes to our obesity. The fact that we eat too much and we don't move enough. It's
Mm.
like, yeah,
Well,
it's
Doc, what
like
do you think about fasting or intermittent fasting? Do you think that is
intermittent fat. It is absolutely, it's the best. I do it almost every day, at least 3 4 times a week. It was a little bit of a gradual thing because it was hard for me not to eat my breakfast, but I eat dinner, and then I try not to eat after dinner to
mm-hmm.
snack on stuff, and then I usually don't eat again until the next day at lunch.
Yeah.
So my
Yeah.
my intermittent fasting is about 15 plus hours, and it's been a great, but that is something your body, uh if you want to get into the biochemistry and the physiology of it, your body, it needs to kind of eat up all the old dead cells, that
Yes.
toxins and stuff that's in your
Yes.
system.
Yep.
And that's what your body will take as fuel when you don't eat it at first. It's not going to take the good stuff that your body
Right.
needs, but it's going to take the old bad stuff. It's like, yeah, get rid of this trash so we can
Mm-hmm.
get some good
Mm-hmm.
stuff in there. So yeah, so that is a little bit of what. But let me just finish real quick. I was going to tell you a little bit more about the Juice Plus, because the Juice Plus has the capsules. It
Gotcha.
has, you can get it as like gummies, and you can
Ah.
also get it as superfood. They have the superfood. We put it into, you just pour it into water, and it's
Mm.
a pleasant tasting. This is all the three fruits and vegetables and berries. The 30 in you can put it in water.
Love it.
And a third thing I wanted to if you decide as an adult, if you get the Juice Plus, order it, you can actually get Juice Plus for children for free. The Juice Plus company are doing something called Healthy Starts for Family. They have run this for 20 some years, where you as an adult can sponsor a child to get their fruits and vegetables for free. And it's an amazing gift, number one. And there's a survey that they do, and they have followed some of these children for the last 20 years. I think it's been that long now. And these kids that take Juice Plus consistently as they are growing up, they miss less days from school. They have take
Mm.
less prescription drugs. They are
Mm.
just they are just healthier overall. Well, duh,
I could see it.
right?
I could definitely. Right. Right. It's obvious, right?
I know, right? But for start, and I believe if we're going to change the health picture of the country or our people, we need to start with our children and
With the
educate
babies.
them. So
Agree.
so that's a
Agree.
little bit about my story, my background. I can go on forever because once I get going, it's like drinking out of a fire hose. I
Gotcha.
know.
I know how it goes. I know how it goes. And no, I appreciate you sharing the story, but also
Yeah.
all of the insight you provided because they were powerful. I know now we're going to transition over to Tanya and hear a little bit. I'm interested to having you share a little bit about your backstory. Also, I know now you're with Juices Plus full time. I know you used to teach at Missouri, but tell us a little bit about yourself, and then also what drew you to Juices Plus, and any information you'd like to share.
Yes, thank you so much. And Trent, it was such a pleasure to meet you when you came to Columbia, Missouri, and we
Ditto,
just
ditto.
bonded because I had lived in Albany, New York
That's
in
right.
the year of 23, no, in 1993, sorry. And it was hilarious because, we have snow in Missouri, but up there it was like the snow of the century. It
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah,
25 inches.
yeah, 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 yeah. It used to be ridiculous. We don't get quite as much anymore, but back then it used to be absolutely ridiculous. Like you're saying, the snow of the century.
Yeah, yeah. And so my background is advertising. And so I worked at the University of Missouri in the School of Journalism as an adjunct instructor for 12 years. And Dr. Loda, she was my chiropractor since I was 25. And so she came to my wedding, and we are lifelong friends.
Mm,
And when I was teaching, I two things were going on. Our daughter was a superstar soccer player. She's out of college now and everything, but back then, so we were gone every weekend, and we were gone not only to Kansas City or St. Louis, but then as she was rising up, we were going out of state. We were going to Nebraska, to Tennessee, major trips. Yeah. And what we didn't realize is that for every soccer game that she was playing in, she was running 5 to 7 miles per game.
Sheesh.
And that's what we found out when the college recruiters explained it to us.
Mm.
But we did not know that in high school.
Mm.
And so she, she's taking upper level classes. She's doing soccer. She's doing, club soccer when it's not school soccer. And then she's also doing track and field and juggling all this. And what happens with anybody that is doing that type of thing? They get grouchy. And they get grouchy, and at the same time that she was getting grouchy as a teenager, more than just what I thought was reasonable, is that
right.
like reasonable grouchiness, I was anemic. And so I went to go see Dr. Timberlake, and I said, hey, this is going on. And she said, well, actually, I have a solution. It's Juice Plus. And so we got on it. And the reason was that she said the body recognizes the micronutrients. Whereas with certain vitamins, the body might not know what it is. And so it basically flushes it out. Literally, there goes all your dollars down the toilet.
Literally.
and so I was like, okay, I'm desperate. I'm desperate for me. I'm desperate, for our daughter. And my husband doesn't really like vegetables besides green beans, pretty much green beans. And so we signed up we signed up David, and we got our daughter on the child,
the freebie,
the freebie and stuff. Because it's free from age 4 to 26,
25.
Wow, okay.
And so it's a whole range. And that covers their brain development, their physical height development, their hormonal development, and just if you think about what you exert and what your rest period is and all that sort of stuff. And so I thought, well, let's try this, because we're not getting it the way that we want it, and we're on the road. And there's hamburgers and hot dogs, which, and we're staying at these hotels, and then there's cinnamon rolls in the morning, which is delicious, but we're not even close to the 5 that you guys were talking about. We're like 1, banana, banana and stuff. And so I think we've been on it since probably 2014 or 15. And then after a while, I said, hey, Loda, I think I'm ready to join the team, because I want to help other people, and I want to, be able to sell it when people have a need for it. And so I joined the team in January of 2020. Now, what happened in March of 2020? Spring break was canceled. COVID. The world shut down. And then health, became a priority, because we started hearing these weird terms called comorbidities. And people were dying, and they were like, oh, they had comorbidities. And those of us that are not doctors or nurses were like, that sounds like a bad word. What's a comorbidity?
Sounds like a bad word.
Yes. And they were like, oh, they're underlying causes, diabetes or high blood pressure or this or that. And, we've all heard that before, but during the pandemic, it became heightened because of the risk of COVID.
Correct.
And so then, it's one of those things that I think that what we found out was that not only did my anemia go away, not only did our daughter, her grouchiness subsided to that of a normal, independent teenager that's appropriate. But the surprise was my husband, because, men are sort of in their own category of toughness, and we don't necessarily look at what are their hormone changes when they're in their midlife. What's their import export as far as how what they eat, how much they sleep, how their stress is, how does that come out in their reaction to we've got 5 minutes to get in the car. Come on, come on, come on.
Mm.
Compared to, hey, we're doing great. Let's just focus. We got 5 minutes to get on the car. You get in the car. You're saying the same thing, but it's,
Right.
you
Totally
know,
different. Yep. Yep.
yes. And so he is a nice man, but he became even nicer.
Nicer. Mm. So I got a question. So for the 25, and thank you once for sharing that, but two for also sharing how you actually seen the effects of it, which drew you to even want to be a part. How did your daughter, or have you ever any other children? Because it ranges from 4 to 25 for free. What do they talk about with the taste?
Well, so we have three options. We
Hmm.
have the gummies, we have the capsules, and we have the
The drink. The
superfood.
superfood.
Yeah, the
Superfood
superfood.
that comes in a little thingy.
And so you tear this open, and then you put it in
In the
in
water.
the water, and then you just drink it, and it
Gotcha.
tastes good. It
That's
totally
what I
tastes
was
good.
wondering. And the
Yeah.
gummies, and I'm assuming the gummies are probably a little easier for kids, like younger kids, 4 or 5 years old. Just give them a gummy like you would a multivitamin every day, and then that's helpful for them.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
The kids love the gummies. I mean,
That's what
I
I'm
say
thinking.
that I have 5 grandchildren, and my kids were raised on the stuff. So,
Mhm.
yeah, and sometimes you have to keep it away from this. Like, no, you
They
get
want
two
two.
or
Yeah,
three.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I want another. I
So,
know.
yeah, and it's really convenient or this new superfood is fairly new. They just came out with it a couple of years ago, and it's very
Gotcha.
pleasant tasting, and it's so simple. Throw it in your water bottle, and you just take it with you, and so yeah, it's very, and the capsules don't even taste like anything,
Tastes
and
like
they just go
anything.
down like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah.
No, that's
And
good to
and
know.
we're
Hmm.
and we're happy to give our emails if people have questions
Yeah,
about Juice
we're gonna do
Plus.
that at the end. Before
Yeah.
at the very end,
Okay.
I'm gonna make sure we any emails, where they could find the product, how they could purchase,
Yeah.
etc. I definitely like to do that at the end. So my
Okay.
question though for you, I know you come with a marketing background. Is that
Yeah.
what you actually transition and do now with Juices Plus?
Well, so Juice Plus is a direct sales company. And
Gotcha.
so I do use a lot of what I used to teach to just explain the benefits to people, because you know how this in advertising, it's always the SWOT analysis, the
Mm-hmm.
strengths, weaknesses,
Weaknesses,
opportunities, and
opportunities, and
threats.
threats. Yep, yep, yep.
And I think, one thing to keep in mind is I think that in a way, when all of us have left our beautiful teenage body and we are having to come to the reality that we have to change our behavior,
Mm,
there's kind of two paths, and I definitely have fallen into this trap, and I'm just sharing this because I think it's it's sort of the shame that we put upon ourselves, that like,
mm,
well, how did we gain that 10 pounds? How did we gain that 20 pounds? How did we gain that 30 pounds? How are we, accidentally eating more brownie or ice cream than the 5 fruits and vegetables per day? And then we have to reconcile with who we think we are
mm,
with the reality when we have the doctor visit once a
mm,
year.
mm.
And then we can ignore it, or we can make those changes.
That's right.
And Juice Plus is a simple way to make the positive change. And like Dr. Loda said, that when our taste buds change, it becomes easier,
Very true.
because we are a society of convenience.
Yep.
And so
Yep.
if we're craving fruits and vegetables, it's easier than craving the sweets and the alcohol and the everything else, the coffee,
Yep.
that's just sort of like, the the world the world offering, even though God's offering is the fruits and the vegetables and the berries.
Right.
you
Talk
know?
about it. The natural,
The
the
natural
natural way.
stuff.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I
Yeah.
agree. And I also I agree, and that's what I like about the Juices Plus is the fact that it is more convenient, like you were saying. So like for the kids, you got the gummies, or even for the adults, if you prefer a gummy, you got the gummies. You have the capsules, and then or you have your drink to go. So you can include that in one of your one or two of your servings of water every day as well.
Hmm.
So I think that is a big, huge plus. And I mean, just to think that we need 7 to 13 servings per day of fruits and vegetables, it is very difficult to reach that mark. And so this gives us a easier opportunity to do so every single day. So
Yes.
now, is Juice Plus a subscription based product, or is it like a you just ordered as needed? And typically, is it like, do they send you a month's worth of inventory? Like, what does that look like?
Yes, I'm going to have Loda say that. The other thing I will say personally is
Mhm.
that I also use Juice Plus as my defense against all the mold spores that come after the rain. And I have not been on allergy medicine for 10 years.
Are you serious? That's huge.
Yes.
I,
Yes.
that's huge. I mean, I've had terrible allergies. I actually had to get a surgery because I had like pileups because of that. And so it's huge to hear that, something like this, they wanted me to get the allergy shots every month and all of that jazz. So to think that for anybody out there who has bad allergies, this is another solution just by us getting the right
Yeah.
intake of
Right.
fruits and vegetables. And so I really
Mhm.
appreciate you sharing that as well.
Yeah. And here's Loda. She'll
Yeah.
explain.
All right.
Yeah, so the thing with, the basic, if you give your body the basic nutrition that it needs consistently, it balances out your body chemistry and your immune system, and you don't, and it doesn't, we don't come out and say it cures any specific disease, but it will help your body get healthier. And with that, you don't have, maybe as you might still have allergies, but it won't be as severe.
Bad.
So that's kind of what Juice Plus does, and it just makes sense. And the other thing that's really unique with Juice Plus, they haven't done studies on it yet, but so that the NIH, I don't know if you're familiar, NIH is the National Institute of Health.
Hmm.
They have given $10 million to the University of California, I think it's UCLA, to study the Juice Plus berry blend, which is 11 different kinds of berries, and to study to see what effect that has on mental health and Alzheimer's.
Mm.
So that is the smart people out there recognizes that Juice Plus has had over the 25, 30 years that it's been around, has benefited people's health to the point where they're going to invest $10 million in
Right.
studying
Yep.
how that affects our mental health. And I wanted to throw it in there because if you eat well and your body is balanced and you feel good in your body, your mental health is
Mental health.
better.
Yes,
You
indeed.
feel better in your heart, in your
Yep.
mind. I mean,
Yep.
it's just your whole overall well-being. And
Holistic.
it can be, yeah, if you consistently give your body the nutrients that it needs, you're going to feel better in
Yes.
everywhere, in every way.
Every way. I
so
agree.
so yeah. So what was the question again? Because I got
So
on.
Dr. T, yeah, no, I wanted to know, so is Juices Plus a subscription based model? Do they send like once you're if it is it does it come as a monthly portion? Like how does that look for the customer?
So specifically, if the fruits and vegetables come together, so and you get a 4 month supply up front. That's what they send you. And part of the reason is because you want to have it on hand, number one. And number two, it's kind of a marketing thing in a way. But you also don't have to every month read
Right.
because you forget and then you run
Right.
out and
Yep.
but they,
Yep.
they send you a 4 month supply, whether you do the fruits and the vegetables or you do the fruits and vegetables and berries, or even if you do the family health when you get the gummies, however you want to order it, they send you a 4 month supply up front, and then they split the payments up over the 4 months, so you don't have to pay for it
Sure.
all up front,
Gotcha.
but they split them out, and that's some what they have actually helping people. It
Mm-hmm.
the fruits and the vegetables come together, and I think it's like $55 a month
Gotcha.
for
Okay.
that. If you do the
Which,
trio,
by the way, if you went to the grocery store, you actually are getting 7 to 13 servings per day, you're gonna pay way more than $50 in that month. So yeah,
I know, right? Yeah. So if you add the berries to it, so the fruits and vegetables and berries, it comes up to somewhere around $75, $80 a month for all that. Yeah, we have, and so Tanya is showing me here. You split it up per day, so the trio is like 267 a day. That's like less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks.
267 a day. Yeah, that is.
Yeah, yeah. They also have They have added another supplement, which is the omega fatty acid supplement.
Yep.
And the
Yep.
unique thing with the Juice Plus omega is that it's all plant-based. It doesn't have any fishes in it. They have actually bypassed the fish and they went to the algae that the fish eat to get the omega concentrate. So that's another one that they add to it, and that then ends up, that's another $1 a day. So if you take the fruits and the vegetables and the berries, it's about $350, 675, 280 a day. I'm adding it up here.
About 380.
Yeah, something like that. But you also have the superfood is a little different. You can buy just a 30-day supply if you want. It's a little more expensive. I think it ends up a month supply of the superfood is about $100. But you can just order it like a 30 servings out of that. And it comes, so I am a partner with the Juice Plus company, so it can be ordered from me. Tanya is a partner with the Juice Plus company. We can order from.
We're on the same. We're on the same team.
Yeah,
we're on the same team.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And we work as a team.
Where can they find it? Like, where can they purchase it from? You guys saying that?
So if they go to our website, my website, there's a couple of places to do it. My website is l-timberlake.juiceplus.com.
Plus.com. And we'll put this also in the description notes for everyone, so to be there.
Yeah.
But that was l-timberlake at juicesplus.com.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And mine is Tanya Heath, Tanya Tanya, Heath HEATH.juiceplus.com.
All right. And so those are two locations, right, where they could directly get in touch with you guys, in addition to being able to actually submit their orders as well.
Right.
Well, if they have a question, they probably need to actually email us. That's the website.
That's the website.
Order.
Yeah, those are the websites.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
We can give you our emails.
Yeah, what would be the contacts then? The best and people will reach out. I'm just letting you guys know. You'll get some.
Yeah,
letters.
no, I love that. I
that's
love
good.
that. That's why we're here, to help people and educate them. That's why we're here. My email is Lotta, LOTTAR Timberlake @gmail.
And mine is Tanya TANYA _ Heath HEATH 8 @yahoo.com.
Perfecto. And so those are both the contact informations where if you have any questions around Juices Plus or anything we talked about today, you could contact them directly. And then previously they provided the websites where if anybody wanted to actually order some, they could order it right from there. And understanding that our listeners are, a big portion of our listeners are incarcerated, I would also suggest, if this is something that you see interest or value in, sharing it with your loved ones and family on the outside too, because you might, if you have children, your spouse or partners, they would be able to order it and get the children on a subscription-based model. So at least, another way of helping your family, even though you're not there physically, maybe to do so. And then hopefully upon release, you'll be able to come and jump right in and be a partake of that as well. And so again, something I definitely suggest. Now, does Juices Plus have a general website or a social media page where people can find them? Anything like that?
Yes, Trent. So juiceplus.com. It's just juiceplus1word.com. And once you get there, that website, and I want to throw in here too, that website is just a general website.
Gotcha.
On there is a spot where they ask, do you looking for a special partner? And you can put our name in there, and our website will pop up right there.
Gotcha.
And
okay.
I also want to throw it out here, Trent, that we do have, it's a direct sales company. So there is an opportunity to sign up as a partner and become a partner and actually help the people around you if you're interested in selling. As a partner, it's cost $52 a year to become a partner with the Juice Plus company. And if you have, that's a way it gives you the opportunity to talk to other people and sell it yourself.
Yep.
And if you do that, you can make a little bit of money and pay for your own product. That's how some
There it
people
is.
start. And
There
then
it
you
is.
have some
Yep.
people like myself. I retired from my chiropractic business, and I still have patients from 15 years ago that I still get paid on every day because they continue to take Juice Plus every day, and they
There
help
it
their
is.
health, and I get a little bit of money as a
Extra money
retiree.
too, right?
So
It could be a
yeah,
win-win. Yes,
it
yes.
Yep.
is a
And
win-win, and
I love you
yeah,
sharing that because I think that's also important for our listeners to also
yeah.
identify this is also an opportunity for you to benefit health wise, but then just economics. And anybody who knows me knows I'm huge on economics, and we need pathways for economics. So this becomes another pathway for health, but then also for your personal economics too.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
And passive income,
Yes.
like I can live in Missouri, but I can have customers that are in California, Florida,
Yes.
even
Yes.
international.
Yep.
Florida has customers that are international, and so
Actually,
sky's the limit.
I just looked on my website, and my sister, who still lives in Stockholm, Sweden, she ordered Juice Plus apparently. So I got an order in Sweden. Like, okay, way to
Nice.
go,
I
girl.
love it.
So yeah.
Yeah.
That
And
is
my
awesome.
the passion that we have for health and wellness is how much it's kind of almost like, you teach them how to fish.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're
Yes.
not just giving them a fish, we're actually teaching them how to
Teaching them.
fish, and
Yes.
that's how we're changing people's
I
lives.
agree.
And,
I agree.
and that
It's
passive income over time is huge. And our
definitely.
team is great. We have nurses, we have COOs on our team, we have retirees, we have 27-year-old young upstart, adults that
Yep.
want to make a difference in people's lives. So we have a great team, and we
Yeah.
work as a team.
I love that. And so I know we're kind of coming to our hour mark. I want to thank you guys for coming today and sharing these insights. Brown Juices Plus, but also just in general, like we said, like some of these, just looking at some of these statistics again, and to think, 33% of cancers might be preventable. Just for 33% of individuals in our country are going to end up with cancer, but that could be preventable in certain ways. Same with same exact statistic when it comes to the diabetes, and individuals who are just overweight in general. And so, like you said early on, health is definitely a choice, and through Juice Plus, it gives you an opportunity to really bring convenience into your life when it comes to health. You can get your 7 to 13 servings of your fruits, your vegetables, your berries, things that the average person just isn't getting. Even someone as myself who's very intent and mindful of it, I'm still way off the mark. And so this would be something that I'll be able to utilize. I also love the 4 pillars, and that being, being mindful of what we eat, what we're putting in our bodies, being sure that we're moving, being active, exercising, stress management. We, like we said, stress kills. And then lastly, the prevention piece. And so I encourage all of our listeners to take heed of those pillars, do the best you can, even in your current, no matter your circumstance, that you're adhering to those pillars. And again, any questions, please reach out to our guests. You have Dr. T on here, you have Tanya on here, and you have Juices Plus. And I think it's something that I encourage us all to take a look at, explore, because health is wealth. And so I have to sincerely thank you guys again for being here with us. I really, really appreciate you making some time. I hope our listeners enjoyed this special episode. Like I said, you guys, this is only the second time we've ever had someone who wasn't actually incarcerated. But I thought it was very, very, very important after we connected that we shared this message, because without health, we have nothing. And, and our vision is for people to be here for a long, long time. And so thank you guys again. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
We
Trent.
appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having us on. Appreciate it
Thank
very
you
much.
guys.
Yeah.
You take care.
And so for our listeners, again, thank you for another episode of Prison Bosses tuning in. As always, I suggest you go back and maybe take a second spin around on this episode. There's probably some jewels in there that went overlooked the first time, some information that is definitely could be relevant. And so spin back, listen to it again. And until then, I hope everyone stays safe, stay blessed, and we'll see you soon.